how can we really get to know who the ancient Romans were? We often think of Rome in terms of its powerful rulers, but although studying these individuals is quite interesting, it doesn't really give us an accurate picture of of who the people of Rome really were as a whole. To actually understand, we must look at their daily lives of the typical inhabitants of the empire. This can be seen through first the buildings, second the hygiene, and third the food. First, the buildings. The lives of Romans are revealed in the architectural remains of their homes, roads, and tombs, which revealed how they lived, how they traveled, and how they were buried. The buildings reveal an enormous amount about the lives of those who construct them. Romans were gregarious, so they had large public spaces. Cities often were built with the public square in mind. The Roman Forum, one of the most famous of these, was a multi-purpose site with many functions, and part of the reason why is that the Roman government provided very few services which now are thought of as obvious requirements of any good government. The only police were to protect against riots, although there were Wiglies who served as firemen, and the Praetorian Guard who were intel agents and also worked as bodyguards. Though the Roman forums meant there were more people, so there was less of a threat. This can also be seen with the patron-and-client system. Patronage systems have been dated to the founding of Rome. They were essentially gangs, but for the good of the community, a violent mutual assistance group. As sensibility was based on power, there were huge client networks. As was the case with most every type of relationship at the time, they happened because the patron got subservience and the clients got protection and stability, as well as other things. Many theaters and bathhouses were subsidized by patrons. They were also used by clients to connect with others, even though they regularly met in private houses too. Many citizens lived in apartments, and nearly 45,000 apartment buildings were built in ancient Rome, in the ancient Roman Empire. Many roads in the empire connected to Rome. Along the roads were graves. Quote, cemeteries and tombs lined extra-urban roads throughout the Roman world, unquote, said Dr. Laurel Taylor. The graves tell us a lot, especially with their funerary monuments. They even tell us about the family structure, and one such would be the epitaph of Claudia. It had a lot of info about what was important to them. Second, the Roman Empire was built on the ability of Rome to manage complex trading networks. The abilities needed the help of the citizens, which meant that Rome went to great lengths to ensure the citizens' hygiene and water supplies, including baths, toilets, and laundry. The main way they did so was by using aqueducts. Fresh water from the mountains worked to prevent waterborne diseases, and was efficient and clean public toilets with waste disposal helped to avoid a possible problem of this in the first place. Romans were unprecedented in the adoption of the toilet. Around the 1st century BC, public toilet latrines became a major feature of Roman infrastructure, like bathhouses. Nearly all citizens in cities had access to private toilets in their residence, but archaeologists still know little about them due to the lack of writing about them, and what was written was often satirical. One such example is, quote, I know a man, Becerra, who in the toilet sits. He doesn't need to use it, not a little bit. He strikes up conversations, and even with those he hates, And for a dinner invitation, you know he always waits, unquote, said Marshall. From this and a few other examples, it is clear that the Romans considered it normal to socialize while in the bathroom, as odd as that may seem to us today. The toilets consisted of bench seats over a sewer. They were often flushed by water from nearby bathhouses or another natural water source. Although now it is very private, to Romans, bathing was a communal activity. It was not just for cleaning, but also sociality. It also influenced architecture because of the need for large, airy rooms. They were able to construct these, which led to showing off with other large, showy rooms. They also had a laundry system. Third, we can also see that Roman cuisine provides us with a deeply personal look at how the absence of need transformed citizens into fast food junkies and gourmands in search of the new, next trendy, ultra-obscure foods. Even though, through most of history, food has been largely unavailable, Rome, like modern America, had a different problem: what to do with the excess. Bread and olive oil became basics, and watered-down wine became the standard beverage. In addition, they often ate fast food throughout the day, including roast meals and dishes a lot like pizza and lasagna. Quote, for the ordinary Roman, breakfast was served at daybreak. A small lunch was eaten around 11 a.m. The cena was the main meal of the day. They may have eaten a late supper, unquote, said Colin Ricketts. Richer citizens ate a larger main meal instead of the final supper. For the common Roman citizen, one of the best parts of their status was a free supply of wheat flour provided by the state. Rome imported most of its grain by the 2nd century AD. Part of the reason behind this was to prevent even more uprisings when citizens didn't have enough food. With free bread being guaranteed, powerful Romans began to see food as entertainment. Dinner parties arose as a way to show off rare food now available due to the spread of influence of the empire. They ate at reclined tables while being waited on by servants. At one dinner party, the banquet of Trimalchio, which we know of thanks to Petronius Arbiter, for the first course, there was donkey on silver platters, seasoned dormice, and sausages, as well as rare fruits. Then the man of honor, Trimalchio, was brought out with a burst of music, dressed in expensive garments. He showed off with his expensive checkers game, and then poached peahen eggs with other expensive things were brought out. There was also old, expensive wine served. So, through not only their food, but also their hiding in their buildings, we can see what the lives of Romans were really like. Thank you.